Hey, this is part two of tonight. Just second video I made tonight. The one in the other shirt and this shirt was the same night. You saw it, like this one. It's the same night, back to back videos. Yeah. And the last one is gonna pick up in the middle of the last one went off. I know I gotta give an example. And this is the perfect example about psychology, the law being about psychology and not about physical things. Okay, this episode is all about sex. You read the title correctly. It's all about sex. This is all about sex and like I don't want to be a stick in the ass because I'm sharing this with a lot of girls. I want to be my friend, and I want all the girls on Suicide Girls to be my friend and love me and be my in-person friend, and that has to do with the psychological way of the law. Okay, so what is your psychology about sex? Like, if it's like basically lawful, yeah, we had a conversation with my friends in a little chat, and they're talking about what I believe about religion. And I had this one point, it was a very good point. Like, when you're above the law, and in partyism, like right above the law, okay? When you're above the law, like you can't have like, it's desired to be this way, but you can't submit, you can't really obey the law if you're above the law. You don't obey the law. And why don't you obey the law? Because you obey something you don't want to do. Okay? It's about obedience. You don't really have obedience if you're polytheistic God. Because you know you desire it because it's right and you want to be right. So you you desire being above the law. And it's not your only desire. But when you desire to be above the law, and that's how your mind works. And I always had this about the mating way. Like, imagine your grandfather, like coddled, like brushed your feet, and it was like a special relation with your grandparent from like a very young age, and you were the sweetie pie, and you were Asperger's, socially mute in some ways, and no one really knew who you are because you couldn't really be yourself, and your family was like kind of negative and like emotionally broken a little bit in different ways, in negative ways, and yeah. Like, yeah, I was always a pain in the ass, but in my heart, and around my nanny, I was the sweetie pie, and that's who I strive to be, because I knew about sugaring, because when you're good to people, you get what you want, being good to people. So what you think about mating when you're that boy or girl? You think about the bonding aspect, dog. The bonding aspect. You want this person always be able to. Yeah, I know. Like, number one, if you get ideal mate, like, you want the ideal mate because you want in a complete human way to be yourself, because you understand the person. You understand the person who you're connected to. Like, if you're gonna be a reflection of who they see that you are. If you have the autism, Asperger's, and you have your nanny sweet pie. Yeah, I know everyone else is kind of negative around you and your social mute at school and stuff. You want to know that the girl that your girl is gonna be your person you have sex with your identity is gonna be a reflection of how she sees you. Like, everything you're gonna be in life is a reflection of that. And the law itself, if it's a psychological law, it depends on like the empath phenomenon. It depends on like a psychic intuition thing being real. And if the psychic intuition thing is real, or at least the empath thing is real, if you were if you were like succumb like involuntary reasons, like, you're fucked. You're screwed. You're basically screwed. You're like, hey, what's up? I had to start getting back on track. 'Cause I forgot this night is part of the evil trilogy. This is about evil. This is about the evil of the way you perceive sex in your life because of who you are. Because you have like, like, this is like, I'm gonna use this is endearingly. I'm gonna use my friends who debate religion all the time. I'm forbidden from sharing sexy, not even naked, like sexy videos as my background in the group video chats. Like, when we have like our own boxes, like there's box. There's like 8. There can be up to like a lot more people because it's grows now. There's more people. And I'm forbidding from using my background as the least bit sexy. Like, if there's a female on there, she can be fully dressed. But if she's dancing, like Even dancing like bachata, if I get the reels from the bachata, like I'm forbidden from sharing, from using that as my background. Like I found a really good one that might really fuck with people, but I'm afraid of getting another band for a couple of days from hanging out with my friends. But there's like these lesbians in a pool, and they're dancing bachata, not lesbians, like girls dancing bachata together. You don't know if they're lesbians, but they're in bathing suits dancing bachata together in like a very shallow pool, and it was like really hot. And I made sure I saved that one. But this is gonna be about like the perception of evil had everything to do with part 3 and part 4. Because it's gonna be about sex. The next one's gonna be about like fear issues, like worry, fear, like the worrying about evil. But the sex is like got a whole evil wrapped around it, yo. Like a whole evil video to make wrapped around sex. Like there's like a whole video to make around sex about the perception of evil because of who you are and what you think about sex. Okay? Because if I put you in a room with a naked woman, the man who have sex with her is evil. The man who would disrespect her is evil. The man who was shy is who I used to be. I used to like not want to look when I saw like when my. Well, actually, only one example of a friend who took off her shirt, and I didn't look because I didn't have a bond with her, and I didn't want to like her to look at me in a way that like make me feel bad about myself when I was younger. That's why I like hanging out with females, because if I'm looking at a naked woman, like, I'm looking at how she is, and like a human way, it's like beautiful hanging out with a female when she's naked and she's not doing anything sexual. Yeah, because of the animal ways, and because also there's something savantism about how I look at things. It's like asexual, but I think sex is a real good idea to decide to do with somebody. Like, but there's no urgency around that, dog. There's no urgency around it. I know. Like I believe I could get any woman who's right for me in the world, any woman who's right for me in the world, like unless situations fall through. And with hope, like, every time it happened, I wasn't feeling bad about it because it wasn't like something happened. I had to just get the confidence when it happens. Yeah. So sex is, number one, the evil associated with sex is with the hormones and the involuntary things inside of you. But if you just get your mind off that, like, it's very gangster to be around naked women and not think about sex. You know that from the movies. It's very gangster to be around naked women and not think about sex. And that's kind of scary because gangsters are scary. So, I'm trying to think about how to make this horror theme. It's scary. Yeah. The human nature falls through, yo. Every time I try to do this video, the human nature falls through. I'm just thinking about myself. Like, what happens inside your brain when you persecute sex? Oh, I know it's evil because you hurt yourself. Like, you fuck yourself over. Now you can't look at yourself in the mirror. Like, I don't know exactly how much it is, but the people who have, like, I don't know. If you have a problem with sex, I think of that as, like, seeing that as evil or being hurt by it. Because you know you've been hurt by sex. Like I cannot convince you how pure I am sexually. I cannot convince you. Let's just try to be sexy. I don't know, yeah. I had a dream. The most holy places in heaven, like say the angels in heaven want to protect holiness of the holy of holies. What do they use to protect? I was on a three trials dream, 3 trials to talk to an angel to get to the holy and meet God, but it was just an angel, and I did make it through. The first trial was like obedience, following the track, because you have to move. When I move, you move just like that. But that's what God says. God says when I move, you move just like that. It was like Raiders of the Lost Ark on low in my dream, and you had to move right to get to the second trial. The second trial was a room full of naked women. For some reason, they thought that was the second most difficult, but I don't know. For me, it was. For me, it was not hard to get past that room because I felt affection. Oh, these are the women of the angel. These are women of God. And they're naked. These are the women of God. That's what I thought in my dream. Cause they're holy. They're not thinking about sex. I know that because it's dream. You can tell people are thinking about. And the third room was stupid. It's the third room in my dream. This was like many years ago. It was like 2011, 2012. Like right around when I started my meditation. The third room had like all kind of treats. You had to get past the third room. The first one was just like a wide open area. You had to get past by moving the right way. When I move, you move. Second room was the naked women. You know these women love you in the love of God. I love you. And they're all naked. And you're trying to get to God. You're like, I have to beat the mission on my mind. The third room had all these snacks, like delicacies. And I actually done. I felt so ashamed of myself. I took a bite. That's probably why the angel didn't talk to me. But I felt ashamed of myself. I took a bite of the little pastry and I put it down real quick. And I just ran out of that room. That was the room I run out of scared because it had all the cakes and treats. And I was in the room with the angel. It was an angel. I thought it was a guy, but it was gonna be an angel. It was a little chubby guy. He was chubby guy. He was. I don't know if he was. He wasn't. I don't think he was taller than me. He was like that tall. But he was a chubby guy. I saw him as very big, and I came up to him, and like I started weeping. He might talk to me. I didn't eat the piece of cake. If I didn't eat the cake, he might talk to me. I asked if you're an angel, and he said yeah. It just disappeared. And I started. I was crying. I was crying when I talked to him. I cried more, and I cried in that dream for like. My car crying. I went like a little corner in the room, and one of the women came in. She was wearing a robe. But one of the women from the other place came in, and she was holding me, and I cried in her arm. I cried in her arms, because of the holiness of God. Yeah, I know. I cried by that woman, because I failed the test. I ate the cake. It's about sex and turn out good. You know sex is scary, all right? You already know sex is scary. I misled you in the last video. I told you. You can think for yourself. Like the perfect psychology is you look at people how they are. You think about mating. If you don't have a mate, you think about who you're going to be in life, your identity. Like, I as someone that doesn't really see I probably would see as cool when I had a girlfriend, but I wasn't gonna fuck up. I'll give a girl a permanency commitment to her. I love you, man. Because this is the person that defines your identity. I know. That's why these people like don't know who you are. You don't forget about identity. You're always like on edge. Yeah. Yeah, I know. The sins. Sins is not being objective with yourself. Think about how you feel about those memories. This is the horror part. Think about how you feel about the memories of sex. And how does that affect you as a person? Like you wanted it. You know you wanted it. Yeah, I know. You wanted it before. And you should after it's happened, you don't want it. Or you try to lie to yourself and tell you it's not meaningful, but the concept, like if you have this concept in your head that meaningless sex is possible, like I have a theory that like 99 to 100% of the time it will cause you brain damage if you tell your sex is meaningful, meaningless. Like there's no meaning to it. Like if you try to say it's not meaningful, you'll get brain damage. In a way, you. This is a good point. You will look at everybody the way you perceive people you have sex with. Thank you. The people you have perceived yourself having sex with is how you timidly look at everyone else, or like dickishly, assholeishly, like kindishly look at everybody else. Like the people you had sex with. That's how you look at everyone else. I know you compare everyone else to people that you have. That the people you have sex with is your standard for humanity. Your standard for what's real in this world. In a regular way or a post-traumatic way, it's the standard subconsciously for who humans are in this life. Thank you. That's why I can't have American girlfriend, because American girls are... Just America is a fucked up country. Like, we have brain damage. It's a real shithole country. I got out of this country. American girl who's foreign and exotic. I can make more videos on sex. This I know. Thank you. No God who'll keep you from falling. He'll present you faultless before his own presence. Or Jesus, someone will present you faultless. Yeah, no, you'll be presented keenly. I can make a million videos. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like on point, on point, on point. Like I'm feeling sensitive for some reason on how I'm doing this. Maybe because I'm struggling with my suicidal girls. And I don't want to just be like... Or maybe something else. I'm just inherently sensitive right now. Tim will keep us from falling this for his presence. The only wise God. That's how you end. This is how you end prayers. Be glory, majesty, dominion, honor, power, henceforth, now, and forevermore. And people that love God say amen. The shaman of sexy says amen. The shaman of sexy says amen. I do. This is a good example of why I love you, this video. I know. I love it. Yeah, I just think it's stupid.